Good morning, this is Bob Iacchino along with Mike Arnold from Path Trading Partners, and this is an AM Path Chat covering the FX markets for May 10th. Hitting the overnight news. Big news that was mildly market moving overnight was President Donald Trump firing CIA Director James Comey. I'm not going to go into it too much. It's not a market moving event over the long term, but it is showing a little bit of volatility that's possible out of this administration. Don't care what your political opinion is. Volatility is possible from a president who is unpredictable. So that's the kind of thing. News treated it like it was an extremely unexpected event. We did get a tiny bit of a sell-off on the actual news, tiny bit of spike in volatility, but nothing that we would expect to extend into the trading day. Yesterday, we got the American Petroleum Institute report on crude oil supplies, better known as the API report. There was a draw of 5.78 million barrels of crude oil. Analysts were only looking for a draw of 1.8 million barrels, and this was the biggest draw of the year. However, we did get a rise of close to 3.2 million barrels of gasoline against an expected draw of 700,000. So crude oil build had a wider spread, reality versus expectation, than gasoline did. However, I'd still consider it mixed to slightly bullish. Crude oil is up about 1% as I speak to you right now. Markets were quiet overnight. Not a ton of movement. The euro is down, but ever so slightly. Again, in the level where I would consider it to be unchanged. In terms of the economic calendar, we did get that Chinese consumer price and producer price year-over-year data that I was talking about yesterday in both the AM and the PM path chats. And the consumer price index rose a little bit more than expected, 1.2 versus a 1.1 expectation. But the producer price fell a little bit more than that was expected, 6.4 versus 6.7. So again, mixed, not enough to alleviate any fears of a Chinese slowdown. In terms of the calendar today, the Japanese leading index came out already, 105.5 versus an expectation of 105.5. Again, that is a March number, so I don't care as much about that, especially in light of the Fed saying that the first quarter weakness in the U.S. at least is transitory. We've got Mario Draghi speaking essentially right now. I haven't seen any quotes out of him yet, but you're going to want to keep an eye on that. We've got the DOE, crude oil inventories, the Energy Information Administration, better known as EIA, crude oil inventories. That's today at 9 o'clock Central Time. And then tonight we've got a slew of Japanese numbers, foreign bond buying, foreign stock buying, trade balance. That'll all come out at about 6:50 Central, 7:50 Eastern Time. In the meantime, let me turn over to Mike so he can show you what's going on in the charts prior to getting any Mario Draghi take bombs. Mike, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Euro, US dollar, right now trading at one of our significant levels, really at a decision area here. Be watching for a move below this 108.52 level on a sustained basis or on a closing basis. Then we'd be targeting the 108.20 level, significant level, and we'd be broken through our rotation zone. Once the 108.20 level is broken, next level down 107.95 to the rising 50, 107.87, so that's going to be the next key support. On a rally back up, minor resistance going to come in around this 108.98. Then we're looking at the 109.08 to the hooking 8 area, which is 109.14. And if that's broken, the next upside level is this 109.30. And then on a really strong rally, 109.65. Pound US dollar, consolidating at the upper end of this range. So we'll keep watching for that. It went up and tested the new defining point on the trend line, which comes in at 129.86. If we rally back up to 129.89 area and get through that, then we're looking at about the 130.67 as the next key level higher. On a pullback, it's already pulled back to the low of the day right on the rising 8, coming in around 129.36. If that's broken, next key area of support is this 129.11 to 129.04. Then below that, 128.79 to 80. Then below that, 128.47. US dollar, Japanese yen. Continued an up move, slightly up for today, rallied up already to a high around 114.12. So 114.01 is going to be some resistance, followed by 114.12, then 114.32 up there. And then if we break through that, 114.58 to 114.66 is going to be a very key level. On a pullback, 113.66, followed by 113.55, and then we really don't have much until a possible pullback to a defining point, 113.04, and the rising 8, 112.94. So that 113 area would be key on a pullback. US dollar Swiss. So far inside day after a very large 2-day move. Inside day, we have not exceeded yesterday's high or low yet. On a rally up, you already see we tested a 10076 area. On a rally back up, we'll be watching for that 10070 to 76, then to 82. So that 10070 to 82 is going to be very key resistance. If we get through that, watch for a target of yesterday's high 10090, and then a possible return to 101. On a continued pullback, already the low today, 10048 is going to be some minor support, and then the major support is going to come in at this 10034 to 36 area, where we have a return to a trend line and 2 Gann levels. If that is broken, then there's not any other support till about the 99.97 area down here. Aussie US dollar. Reversed up today, trading right now at key Gann levels 73.81. If we rally through that, we'll be watching for the 74 to 74.09 level, and then a possible return to 74.34 area. And on a very strong move, then eventually 74.54. Pulls back, key area of support is 73.47, followed by about 73.37, then 73.28 right down here. And if that is eventually broken, watch for a retest of our significant level, which hasn't been in place since the end of last year, around 73.09. US dollar, Canadian dollar, so far holding support at this redrawn trend line and the Gann level 136.90 and the rising 8. If that is broken, watch for support then coming in at 136.43, which is a new defining point, followed by 136.24, then a possible return to 136.08. On a rally back up, we have minor resistance right around this 137.33, followed by more significant resistance. Redraw this. More significant resistance right around the 137 mark, and then the 137.93 area. Finally, over to the US dollar Mexican peso. No redraw on the trend line yet. We'll probably have a redraw tomorrow. So on this pullback, we can watch for very key support right around this 1902.49 to 1904.23 area with a significant level in the back, in the middle of it. If that is broken, watch for about 1899 to 19, followed by 1892.37. On a rally higher, minor resistance 1912.82, followed by more significant resistance around this 1919.00, and then a possible return to the 1925.80. That's all we have for you. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Michael, and thanks to you guys for watching. We will talk to you in the next Path Chat. Cheers, everyone.